Consider supporting DanDanTheFireman on Patreon for just $1 a month. More information and link below.
What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here, and I actually have this viewer requested video. Now, at least just one viewer requested it, but you know what? When I made the video last week, when I was talking about how I was just viewing everything, like my thought process while I'm riding, like right now, you know, it's a wide open road, turning left at 35 miles per hour. That's like the thing that's on my mind. But somebody said how they really want me to do it. They really want me to do it. I'm gonna put up the comment right here. I'm sorry I forgot your name, but the thing is, I was getting more and more of those during the week, and it just made me think, you know, I should just do it. I should just make a video like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm also gonna intermingle it with kind of like, because right now I'm focusing on this car, those cars passing me, so I'll talk a little bit more about cars, a little more in depth on vehicles, and then the road itself, because there's a ton of tar snakes, and then pedestrians and whatever issues there are. And I do have this right here. It says Staying Vigilant, Vehicles, Road, Pedestrians, and the title of this is Situational Awareness. So having the situational awareness and having my phone here, I've been doing this for a very long time, and so please, I just want you guys to understand I'm being safe about this, okay? I want you guys to be safe. I want to be safe, but I need to teach you this, and the best way I can do it is while I'm riding. So let's go ahead and just start doing that. But like I said, I'll intermingle it without just, like, you know, thinking. I'll say what I'm thinking, but at the same time, I'll give you guys why I'm thinking that. You know, I'll intermingle it, so it's not just me like talking out loud my thoughts. All right, so I got a green light here. It's been green light for a little bit, so I have a feeling it's gonna turn yellow. A lot of these things are kind of like what you do when you are driving too. Okay, it's still green, cool. Checking that car, checking this, checking the lane. No debris in the road, awesome. A lot of this will be on this front-facing camera, just so you guys can get an idea of what I'm seeing and what I'm saying, and then when I talk about something else, it'll be this face camera right here. So anyways, I got a wide open lane right here. A lot of people say don't stay in the lane 2, so this is lane 1, or position 1, position 2 is in the center, position 3 is on the right side. I personally like to stay in position 2, but a lot of people say don't do that just because that's where all the oil and debris and stuff stay, because lane 1 is basically the left tire of a vehicle, lane 3 is basically the right tire of a vehicle, so that kicks all the stuff out of the way. So really you have a lot of stuff in the middle in lane 2. I personally like position 2, just so I can have, you know, a left or right out. So right now in position 1, I don't have a left side out, I have a full right side out. To me, I don't like that. So position 2 is really good for me when it's on a single road. But when we have these double roads, and right now I'm starting to get into this guy's blind spot, when we have more than one road, or lane, I'm sorry, more than one lane, position 3, depending, or position 1 on that side is really good. So position 3 right here is really good for me because I can swerve out this guy's way, check my blind spot, and now get into position 1. I have a huge out. So if this guy wants to come into my lane, I can swerve huge. I got 2 positions, plus I got this massive shoulder to get out of the way. So I was keeping an eye on his wheels, because it's really hard to tell if a vehicle is moving into your lane just by looking at the body of the vehicle. So I'm checking my mirror real quick, and I checked my blind spot, and now I went into this position. Now this is position 3, once again, just so I can be closer to this vehicle and swerve out of the way. I'm looking at the tires. He just hit his brakes. Looking at his tires, because if you see his tires start going towards the center line, the stripe, you know that they're starting to move towards your lane. So that if that happens, I will move a little bit to position 2 and speed up a little bit, so I can kind of, you know, obviously my engine and exhaust, I'm gonna check my blind spot. My engine and exhaust will rev up and make more noise, and then I'll be able to actually be seen because I'll be a little bit further ahead. So I'm position 1 right here. I got this vehicle right here. I'm checking my mirrors every once in a while. So vehicles are very important. That's the one thing that will truly injure you or kill you. You know what? I've been going the wrong way. I was supposed to turn. I'm supposed to go the other way. That's fine. We're having fun here. I'll go down this way. So I double checked real quick my blind spot, because I am the fastest thing on the road, and I know I'm ahead of other people. All right, so yellow light. All right, so vehicles are very dangerous. It's a green arrow, so I'm gonna double check my mirrors. No one's behind me. He's not speeding up to hit me. Checking the road for debris. Good. Normally I would do a quick head check to the left to make sure no cars were coming and merging in my lane, because sometimes that does happen. But anyways, vehicles are very dangerous because they're the ones that hit you. But a lot of the times, a lot of motorcycle accidents are single vehicle accidents, to where, oh, what's this? Survey crew ahead. Okay, so this guy's, see, you got all these different things you got to double check. All right, still got my blinker on. Cool. Hopefully they're checking out all the potholes. So vehicles, but a lot of times there's single vehicle accidents. So me, myself would be in the accident, and that's usually because of debris, the potholes, riding too fast for the turn, a lot of that stuff. But vehicles, I mean, you could just be riding and somebody could T-bone you in an intersection. That's what happened to my friend Matt. He had a full pelvic open book fracture, TBI, traumatic brain injury, and it pretty much retired him from riding since December. Hopefully he can get back on, but vehicles can be very dangerous, so you always have to keep an eye out. That is like your #1 priority, are other vehicles on the road. That is just like a huge issue when it comes to riding, because the roads themselves you're gonna be riding on anyways. The vehicles are a variable in the road that can cause you danger and can cause you harm, so that is the variable that you either want to get rid of or you need to really pay attention to. So I got a couple vehicles behind me, nothing crazy, but I have nothing in front of me. I have huge outs right here, so I'm doing pretty good here. I'm gonna turn right on this road. So really keep an eye on vehicles, and the best way you could do that is make sure you're not in their blind spots. Make sure you're not, make sure you're paying attention to where their tires are, because like I said, you can really tell where their intentions are going, either with or without blinkers, because their tires will indicate whether or not they'll be going into your lane. So like if I was in this lane right here, and I'm a car, I'd be paying attention to the tires right here, because if the tires start moving like this, make sure no one's there. If the tires start moving like this, and they're starting to go into my lane, I know that they're starting to creep into my lane, which I'm over here, and then I'll know. And either they don't see me, hear me, or whatever. So other vehicles, other people cannot hear anything, really, because in a fire truck, in an ambulance, you can outrun your siren, and that's usually around 60 miles an hour, so they don't really they say don't run sirens and lights on the interstate, because after 60 miles an hour you cannot hear it until you pass that person. So right now I'm going 45, or no, I'm going 35. I'm going 38, and so they can hear me. So this person right here on the bike could probably hear my bike, but if I was going 60, she wouldn't hear my bike until I got to probably right here, and it would scare the living shit out of them, and people can't hear you. So loud pipes do save lives up to a certain speed limit, and I can talk more about that in depth at a different time, but I want to go ahead and speak more about what I'm seeing. And there's not a lot of traffic, which kind of sucks, because that's basically all the stuff that I would like to do. And this road is actually really nice, but the next step, and right here, that all I did was that, I'm not doing anything crazy, is road. So road and pedestrians and staying vigilant. So right here, the road, I'm gonna double check my blind spot because I want to get up here. Now the road right here, especially at intersections, can be pretty dangerous, because this is where people stop and stay, because of lights. So there's gonna be a lot of oil on the ground up near the intersection. So I do like to stay off to the side of a vehicle. So right here, I'm staying off to the side of the vehicle, because if the car behind me, right here, okay, they're giving me enough room, that's nice. Oh, I gotta go. They gave me enough room, but if they weren't paying attention and they creeped up, or they just like didn't hit the brakes, they would hit the vehicle in front of me. I'm always looking at my mirror. I'm always double checking to make sure the car behind me stops, because if not, I'll just creep up to the side of that Jeep that I was next to. That way they hit the Jeep and not me. And that way I have some protection. I have a barrier between the vehicle and me. And that Jeep, and staying off to the side, well, one, it won't let me, so that I will have oil on my feet and I'll slip and fall, or I won't have oil on my tires and slip and fall. I'm not sandwiched between vehicles, and I'm not stuck behind the exhaust. And that's the thing, is like sometimes there's vehicles with an exhaust on the right or the left, and I'll just pick the side that doesn't have the exhaust, because I don't want to breathe in those toxic fumes, the carbon monoxide. And it's just a little bit, because the parts per million, all that stuff, we're in the atmosphere right here. But still, I don't want to chance it. I don't want to breathe it in. I don't want to get sick for some reason. I don't want to get the products of combustion in my lungs, and whatever cancers that we'll find out in 50 years that caused. So I'll stick to the side that doesn't have the exhaust, and I'll make sure I look at the road before I stop, because there was one time in Phoenix where I stopped at a light just like this one right here, and when I went to stop, and I was in position 1 and everything, but then when I didn't look at the ground. And that's the thing, is I didn't look at the ground, because right next to the crosswalk, somebody must have spilt like Crisco or some shit. So I went to put my foot down and it slipped. I was able to catch myself and I didn't drop my bike, but man, that scared the living shit out of me. So double checking, so you can see there's a little bit of oil right there. There's some debris right there in the center of the lane, because like I said, the tires will kick stuff out. There is a Tucson water main right there. So you don't want to stop on that or put your foot down, because that looks like it's been worn down quite a bit. And if you put your foot down on that, you could slip. So paying attention to the road, there's a lot of oil right here. So I'm off to the side on the left. The car is behind me, stopped really good, so that's nice. Thank you for not hitting me. Double checking. No reason to just blast through the intersection. Just like crossing the road when you're walking, you need to look. And that's gonna kind of bring me to topic number 3. I'm on pedestrians right here. Pedestrians are dumb. I was always brought up to look left and right and then left again before crossing the road. And the whole time consistently looking and then running if I have to. Pedestrians don't do that. Other people don't do that for some reason. No one looks where they're going. Especially the people on bikes or they're jogging, they'll just jaywalk, which is fine. You know, to be honest, I don't really care if people jaywalk or not. I'm gonna go ahead and turn right so I can. I'm like going like the wrong way. But that's fine. We're talking. We're having fun. People just jaywalk, and like I said, that's just fine because you know sometimes you can't get to a crosswalk, sometimes you can't get from corner to corner. You just have to do it. But people don't look, and they expect vehicles and cars and whatever's on the road to stop. And I think that's kind of dumb. It's the same thing along the lines of people thinking that, you know, cars will find motorcycles and see motorcycles and not hit motorcycles. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get hit, and you don't have the protection of a vehicle to protect yourself. And there's a pothole right here, big old pothole. So pay attention to the roads. So making sure nobody comes out and does that stuff, like comes out and walks in front of you, because hitting that will suck too. Now staying vigilant. Now this is the part where I kind of want to just talk about, you know, what I'm doing. So I'll put a timestamp earlier in where I'm just literally thinking and talking, because I realize that I'm just giving tips this whole time. That was not the intention. So here's a grate. So you don't want to stop on the grate. There's a lot of oil right there, making sure. Do a little tap with my left foot to make sure there's no anything. I put myself in neutral sometimes, and I position myself a little bit so I can see in the mirror, but no one's behind me. Still got a red light, got a lot of cross traffic. This is Grant and Columbus. If you guys are in Tucson, that's where I'm at. I'm just riding around. So anyways, so now we're gonna talk about what I'm thinking and what I'm seeing. So I have this guy, and I'm just gonna literally just talk. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this for a couple minutes. All right, so we got green lights. This is what I do when I'm at an intersection. I double check and make sure, you know, I'm looking at the green, because when that starts turning yellow, this will start turning. So that way I can stay ahead of the schedule when it comes to vehicles behind me, like just starting to go, and I'm not rushed to, you know, pop the clutch, and it might, you know, cause me to stall the bike, because I used to do that all the time. So this is something, oh, okay, so it turned yellow. This is something that I used to do always because I was nervous about riding. It's gonna turn green, there it is. Now this is not an arrow, so we got people right here. We got these two vehicles, the guys turning left. I got a red van behind me. All right, no one there, cool. Checking the road, looking at the road, cool. Double checking, making sure everybody's not speeding. All right, so this car right here got in front of me. There's a pedestrian right here. This is actually a really nice road. It's actually pretty clean, not a lot of potholes. I do want to pay attention to any dirt and debris in the center lane. I also want to pay attention to any cars coming towards me, because if they get in that lane, a lot of times they just freaking rush it. I got the sun to my back, so the sun's in their eyes. So I'm keeping that in my mind that, you know, they might not see me. They may not see me. I'm staying in this position on the lane 1. That way I'm visible. I'm visible to the people over here. I'm visible to people over here. I have an out to my left and I have an out to my right. It's a green light, but I'm double checking, making sure. I let off the throttle. Let's go ahead and get out of the intersection. Normally I would have both hands up here. That way I can hit the brakes and swerve if I have to. That's another thing, is that swerving is very good on a motorcycle. We could do that. We can maneuver around a lot of stuff, so just hitting the brakes is not always the best option. All right, so this has been green for a little bit, so it's kind of making me cautious. I'm double checking these two vehicles. This vehicle right here, good. All right, awesome. And I know people talk about not talking with my hands, but you know what? That's what I do. So kind of get over it. Double checking my mirror. If you have multiple mirrors, it's always good to double check mirrors every once in a while. Do a quick head check. That way you know you have this open space, so if something does happen, instinctively you can move out of the way. You even jump to this next lane. So I'm making sure that nothing's over there. And then I got these vehicles right here. That car pulled out, that's not a big deal. I got this big old bus. He's got his hazard lights, so it looks like he's gonna be stopping at this bus stop where no one's at. I just wanna make sure he's not gonna pull out in front of me. Right now I'm getting closer and closer and closer to this van to where I can't see around him, and that's kind of making me a little anxious. So no one's right here, so I will actually move over so that I have a wider view of what's going on. you guys want to use the whole road. Use the whole road. It's perfectly fine, especially if there's no one around you and you're not being an ass and you're not cutting in front of traffic. There's a police car right there, and I'm guessing that's because of the construction. I'm unsure. Yeah, that's because of the construction. Definitely don't want to be speeding. I'm going 40. It's a 40-mile-an-hour road. Awesome. So I have now a visual line of sight down my own lane. I'm in the position 1, so this person can see me straight into the mirror. I can see their face through their mirror. You can't see it because it's widescreen and all that stuff. But I'm able to see their face, and it's obvious they haven't looked at me yet, but that's fine. So I'm starting to creep up into their blind spot, and these are things you kind of want to pay attention to. This road is still nice. I don't see anybody coming out. Still, the sun is to my back, so he might not even see me if he looks in that mirror because the sun might blind him. So I'm just gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep paying attention to his vehicle, but I don't need to pass in front of him. I'm going the speed limit, double checking both lanes. I'm making sure my lane is good. If I see any debris, I can easily counter steer to do that. Okay, and you guys have mentioned about the counter steering, how I described it. It's literally like this. I push. Okay, I gotta counter steer back to get, to stay in my lane. You turn left and turn right to stay straight. Does that make sense? So yeah, counter steering is literally just pushing and then pushing again. That's it. Another biker? Awesome, buddy. I like it when you guys wave. So right now I'm in position 3. I don't have a big lane. This is a bike lane, so I don't have a big lane to swerve out of the way, and there's a lot of debris, there's a lot of sand right there, so I want to get out of that. This is a right turn lane, so I'm going to actually get back into position 1, double checking each one, because it's a big intersection right there. It still scares me sometimes. But yes, this vehicle right here, I'm just gonna let them stay there. I'm not in their blind spot. I'm making sure I'm not in their blind spot. And if you wanna know what the blind spot is, I'm gonna get here before I have to merge. So this is the blind spot right here. This is where the mirror cannot see me and he cannot see me. And if he decides to turn into my lane, he will clip me. So you wanna stay out of their blind spot. So best way to do that is to kind of just stay about a car or a half a car length away. So if he does wanna swerve, I'm maintaining my speed with him, so that if he does, I'm gonna switch lanes, I did a head check right there. So if he does want to switch lanes, he's not gonna hit me, and if I just tap the brakes, he'll definitely not hit me. But you still wanna give that car enough space. So now I switched over to lane 1, because that way I can see everything over here. If I switched over here to lane 3, or position 3, I keep saying that, I can't see anything. There's the exhaust right here. We're gonna come to the stop, and I'm gonna be breathing in that exhaust, and I can't see anything. All I see are cones. So once we start moving up a little bit, I'm gonna move over to the left, and you're gonna see how I see quite a bit. I see a lot. I see all this other traffic come in. I see if anybody wants to turn in front of me. If I was in position 3 and somebody wanted the opposite direction to turn here, they might not see me because this car's blocking me, and they think, hey, there's no one behind him. I mean, there's people behind me, but there's nobody behind this guy. They'll just go. It's their opportunity to go, but I'm behind them. They couldn't see me. Boom, I get hit. So that's why you kind of want to stay in position 1 sometimes when it comes to the oncoming traffic. Big bump. I'm also paying attention to all this debris, because once you get in construction zones, you're gonna have rocks, nails, and shit. So that sucks. But position 1 allows the oncoming traffic to actually see you and actually visualize who you are, and you'll be better seen. So hopefully not hit. Now there's a lot of debris on the road. Right now I'm just kind of focusing on making sure I don't stall, basically. So right now I'm in first gear and I'm feathering the clutch, and I'm practicing at this point slow speed maneuver. So I have my feet on my pegs. It's something to practice. Every moment's a learning moment. So all right, very cool. I got into, I think I'm still in second. Yep, now I'm in third. Switch it off, and I don't need to be like in a crazy high gear. I always slow down when it comes to intersections. I don't follow right behind, like right up on them like I normally would do in a car, even though I'm practicing not to do that. So I got like a lot of burps this morning. I need to think about where I'm at. Yeah, this is Grant. This is the road. It's terrible. There's a lot of debris. There's a lot of sand and dirt right there. So I'm like constantly moving around and doing this stuff. But yeah, I can't really describe too much now because I'm kind of stuck in traffic and all that stuff. But hopefully you guys kind of got an idea of why I was looking for the vehicles, pedestrians, and road, and all that stuff, and then how I put it all into play. And if you like this kind of video, I'll do a lot more of this kind of stuff. Maybe I'll really only describe certain things, but I really want you guys to have an idea of what I'm thinking, I'm thinking out loud, what I'm seeing and everything. So it's kind of a long video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll make another one and maybe even condense it a little bit better. for you guys, make it more of a tip video, not a commentary vlog type video. But that's all if that's what you want. So tell me in the comments, tell me what you think. Nice to wave at me. And if you liked it, like I said, please subscribe. It really does help. Join the Discord. That's where I got a lot of these tips. You know, like a lot of the suggestions. There's a lot of dirt right here, so I gotta keep an eye out in this truck. Cool. And I'll definitely see you guys later. Hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here for you guys. All right, I'll see you guys later.